when God asks you to do something, all he's asking you to do is say yes. And then he's going to provide you with everything you need to do whatever he wants you to.
Welcome back to TBC 10 Minute Tuesday, a podcast of Thelma Baptist Church. I'm your host, BJ Parson, missions and student pastor here at TBC. Our goal in this weekly podcast is to engage, inform, and inspire. My guest today is one of the busiest guys that I know here at Thelma Baptist Church. He is retired from the workforce, but he is all in and about God's work. And that's my brother, Mr. Les Brown. So Les, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Now, do you remember the church directories that we used to have?
That's right.
Okay. I remember when I first got to Thelma, right? Pastor Doug gave me a church directory, and he's like, "Hey, here's a directory you can go through and look." And I remember your family as being one of the first families that I saw in there. Of course, it's Brown, so
right.
You're right up toward the front. And I remember your family was in there. So how long have you been here at Thelma?
Since 95.
Since 95.
Mm-hmm.
So if I math right, that's about 30 years.
Yep.
Wow, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
It is. Now, I said you're one of the busiest guys that I know because you're connected with a lot of different ministries here at Thelma.
That's right.
So give me the list. It's about as long as your arm, right?
Well, God's always working.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Henry Blackaby, the Experiencing God study, God's always at work. My thinking is if God gives me an opportunity to be involved in what he's doing, then that's my cue that it's an open door. He expects me to stay busy until he comes back or calls me home.
Wow.
And I want to stay busy doing his work. So let me see. Disaster relief is one of my hats. We have a chainsaw cleanup team that goes and does disaster relief work under the umbrella of the state convention. So we are part of the Southern Baptist Alabama State Convention disaster relief teams. Security is just kind of my thing because of my background, and it's one of those things that unfortunately we have to have nowadays.
Right.
If nothing else, it just makes people feel safer. Basically, my DR team, most of them, are also my ramp building team. So 3 years ago or so, were approached by First Baptist Church Tallahassee, which had been building wheelchair ramps for the state of Alabama Senior Living Rehabilitation Office. Prior to COVID, they had been paying contractors to build these ramps. After COVID, they couldn't get anybody to work.
Right.
The contractors that they had on their books did not have the people. They were concerned about, of course, they're keeping their paying customer jobs. And so First Baptist had stepped in and started building those ramps, but they were way behind. They were building at least one ramp a week, and sometimes two. So we were asked to step in and see if we could help clear that backlog.
Right.
So basically my core group, my DR folks, stepped in, and we started building ramps. Since then, of course, I've added other people. I've got a couple of folks from First Baptist, Wetumpka, that work with us.
Right.
But the bulk of our team is from Thelma.
And you guys are building every week. I'm on the text thread. I think you just finished one up
yesterday,
mm-hmm. Right? And these aren't. Let's be really specific about this. When you say wheelchair ramps, sometimes we think of the house that you see in the neighborhood, that the front door is maybe 6 inches off the grade of the front yard. And, when you think of a ramp, you're thinking, and some of these things are like 70 and 80 feet long, right? These aren't just little ramps. I know one specific that I went to with you, and that thing was like 8 feet to the front door.
That's right. The one we built yesterday was 36 feet long.
some of these are really complicated.
That's right.
And your guys have got it down to a science.
We're working that way.
Yeah.
So, experience comes through working.
Right.
And, one of the things that I think we kind of miss sometimes is that men bond through work. If you think about it, in the history of the world, men have always worked. It's part of their nature.
Right.
And they bond through that working, which is why I originally started my men's missions trips every year.
Right.
And so it's, men open up, they talk while they're working. And so
some of them talk.
Right. and so, it's just a more comfortable atmosphere for them.
Right. And then also, you just mentioned the mission part of it, the Alaska team. We have a team that's working specifically with a sister church in Alaska. I guess it was working out about once a year, and this past year we've had multiple trips there, kind of beefing that up, that partnership.
Right.
And so that's another way of getting the men involved. But you do something, and I think it's something you've probably done more than anything else, and that is leading a group on Sunday mornings.
That's right.
How long have you been leading a group on Sunday mornings?
Ever since I've been here, but in total about 33 years.
Now, that's a long time to lead.
That's right.
Have you ever thought, I just need to step aside and let somebody else lead for a minute?
Well, yes. In fact, every year I ask the Lord if He'll let me go. And He hasn't confirmed that yet. My feeling is this, that my job as a group leader is, of course, I try to build that unity in that group so that we can share things. But really and truly, my main focus is trying to identify and encourage people to go out and start other groups.
Oh, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing because we're called to continue to multiply, right? Discipleship is multiplication.
And, there's several stories that Jesus told that I think impact working for within the church for God, for the multiplication of His kingdom. And so I think part of that is the fact that you just jump in. The story of the Good Samaritan. The Good Samaritan finds a guy who really needs help. He does what he can for him, and then moves on. I think that's the thing. When God asks you to do something, all He's asking you to do is say yes. And then He's going to provide you with everything you need to do whatever He wants you to. My background is not construction. I tell people all the time, God's got a sense of humor in that. When He calls you to do things, it's never things that you're good at. I struggle mightily just figuring out the wood content of these big ramps. Nobody knows how much hair pulling I go through to get these things right so these guys can build them. And I often think, God, that's, I'm feeling like Noah here. I can put a screw in a board, but I can't build an ark. I'm sorry,
And so I've seen some of the ramps. It kind of feels like you're getting started on the
That's
ark.
right. And so, but He always reminds me that that's not what He called me for. He called me to do something, and because I was willing, then He has equipped me, but He still reminds me that I need to depend on Him. Every time I go through that door to do something for Him, I've got to make sure that I'm dependent on Him.
That's good. Out of all the things that you do, what is your favorite thing that you do here at Thelma Baptist Church?
Leading the group is it's my longest running thing that I've been involved in with God's work. And, He equips me every Sunday to do what He asked me to do. I'm not a very organized person. You can ask my wife. and so, the only thing that really works good for me is the fact that I don't have to do a whole lot of writing down in order to, I just study my lesson, go in there, put my brain in neutral and let God speak through my mouth.
There you go. That's a good thing.
And apparently people like it because I can't get them to leave.
Yeah, they keep coming back. They keep coming back. Well, Les, I just want to say thank you for joining us today. And I want to say how much I love and appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you.
I really do.
It's mutual, of course.
Not just for the work you do, but for your vision and for your leadership.
Well, he's always working. He just needs people that are willing.
Amen. Amen. Well, for everybody else, thank you for listening. And I want to invite you back to join us Wednesday night at 6:30 for children, students, and adult activities here at TBC. And also remind you that we have services Sunday morning at 8:30 and 10 a.m. We would love to see you here. Have a great rest of your week, and I hope you'll join us next time for 10 Minute Tuesday.